Good morning from one of the most iconic stadiums in all of sports. But today, here in Chicago, it's a bit of a different look for this timeless locale. From a field that's been graced by so many stars, baseball and football alike. Good morning to Brady and Matt. The boys look ready for this. Matt's going bat and lead off today. All right, Matty, to the dugout, where so many legends have led. There's our leader, our head coach, Urban Meyer. They love you here too, Coach. There's a spirit you can feel throughout this special ballpark, and that takes us all the way out to the beloved bleachers. Who else? Mark Ingram out there and in the mood. And we take you up to the iconic scoreboard that charts history. Like today's Michigan Northwestern clash, Bear has the best seat in the house. College football is back at the one and only Wrigley Field. It's Big Noon Kickoff from the friendly confines, and it starts now.
Is there any other place he'd rather be? Let's go!
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me? Hurt my feelings. Give me my theme music.
This is the first of two straight Saturdays at Wrigley Field for David Braun and Northwestern. Today, a chance for the Cats to earn their first ranked win of the season with number 18 Michigan in town. The Wolverines, they're in a race for a fourth Big Ten playoff spot. Bryce Underwood knows a slip up here in the second city will all but end those hopes. Big Noon Kickoff is sponsored by Wendy's new chicken tendies and their powerhouse of sauces. Oh, there's that number, Coach. Look away, Coach. 2 weeks away, man. But we got Big Ten football between Northwestern and Michigan first. We are just across from Murphy's bleachers here at the intersection of Waveland and Sheffield. We welcome you to Big Ten football from Wrigley Field. The Big Ten, man, they played in some unique spots. Dublin, Tokyo. Today, the conference takes you out to the ballpark here at Wrigley Field. The L train literally rolling about 20 feet away from us here. Good morning, Northwestern. Good morning, Michigan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what a location. What a location.
Cool.
This has been fantastic. You're really going to enjoy the next 2 hours here with us on Big Noon Kickoff. Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Mark Ingram, Matt Leinart, the coach, Urban Meyer here with you. And listen, we all know that Chicago is not just a passionate and deep-rooted sports city. It is also an iconic movie location. So we're going to pay tribute to some classic Chicago movies, but we're going to do it Big Ten style, right? That's how we're rolling here on Big Noon Kickoff. First up, While You Were Sleeping, instead of Sandra Bullock, Bill Pullman, we've got the Oregon Duck, Goldie Gopher. Number 8 Oregon hosted Minnesota last night. And there they are, keeping the love affair alive. Noah Whittingham keeps this one alive. Kind of coughed it up late, but they ruled it a touchdown once he crossed Oregon.
Wow. Secure that ball. Secure it.
Moore,
that might have been the best run of the year.
School record, 90% completion rate in this one. Ducks, they host USC next Saturday.
Oh.
So, about last night, we start with Oregon, who took care of business last night. Does Oregon, Brady, need to win out to make the college football playoffs?
I think they do. I think if you look at last season too, BYU, Miami, two teams that finished the season with 2 losses that didn't win their conference, they got left out. And so I think when you look at the resume right now for this Oregon team, they've only beat 2 teams with winning records. And probably their best win is over Iowa. And their loss, when you look at that loss to Indiana, they got pushed around physically. So the next couple of weeks are big time for them. Yeah. Obviously, USC next week, then at Washington. But I think in order to assure that you make it, you got to win out. You got to win convincingly.
Yep, agreed. All right, now we've got hoop dreams, all right? Indiana, traditional basketball power, but they've got some real title hopes in football. Coach, Are you more encouraged or discouraged by Indiana's last-second win last week at struggling Penn State?
I'm actually a little discouraged, a little concerned.
Yeah.
The friendly confines.
Yeah, Wrigley Field, buddy.
I'm actually a little discouraged, Brady, because for the first time since the playoffs last year, they were exposed a little bit. The offensive line of Indiana was feeling a lot of pressure from Penn State. But like a lot of offenses, Indiana's not built to be a drop-back team. Of the 36 drop-backs last week, he was hit 18 times or pressured 18 times. And in the epic final drive, one of the greatest drives in Big Ten history, he was sacked once in the opening play. He was hit 6 times in that 2-minute drill. So a little concerned, not for the regular season, but when you get to the Big Ten championship and you get to the CFP, they're going to face some better D-lines than they saw against Penn State.
Coach, do you want to show those Michigan fans what's on your right hand there at all? Or that ring? Yeah? 7-0, baby. Hey, they're going to love this next segment. Now we've got the untouchables, which is how you might describe #1 Ohio State so far this campaign. Matt, Buckeyes or the field for the Natty?
Wow. I think this year, the greatest thing about this year in college football is the parity. We've talked about it. So I do believe there's a handful of teams that can win it. Where we sit today, I would take Ohio State. I think they are the most dominant team in college football up until this point. They haven't trailed by a single point in the second half of any game this year. You can talk about them not being tested. They just handled their schedule. We know the offense with the receivers and Julian Say, but to me it's defense. Defense wins championships. Defense wins in December. It wins in January. This team has championship DNA. That's why I'm rolling with the Buckeyes. Wow. Sorry, guys.
You got booed a little bit there.
He got booed some.
That's fine.
Matt doesn't handle the booing as well as you do, Coach. You're a little more leathered with that. Can't talk Chicago films without the Blues Brothers. Look at them. They look good, don't they, with the shades? So, speaking of the boys in blue, Mark, how does Michigan beat Ohio State again in 2 weeks' time?
How does Michigan beat Ohio State again? They do the same they've been doing. They've been dominating in the trenches. Physicality in the run game. Physicality defensively. Coach, guess how much the Buckeyes have been outrushed by Michigan in the last 4 games?
Don't tell me.
486 rush yards.
Wow.
So it is paramount. You know what I'm saying? It is paramount for Michigan to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage. Jordan Marshall has been fantastic in the absence of Justice Haynes. Now, we don't know Justice Haynes' status yet, but Jordan Marshall has been shouldering the load for this team. Then defensively, they need to get healthy. The linebacker corps has been a little bit banged up, but the defensive line, 7 sacks in the last 2 games. And finally, Bryce Underwood. We see the talent. We see the ability. I doubt they want to go throw for throw with Julian Sam. So it is paramount for the formula for Michigan to beat Ohio State is a strong run game and defense like they have in the last 4 or 5 meetings.
14 days, 2 hours.
Not that anybody's counting, right? Not that anybody's counting. All right, so let's head over across the street to Murphy's Bleachers as we welcome in our gaming expert, our college football guru, the Bear, Chris Felica. Where is the Bear?
Where's Bear?
Where are you, Bear? There he is. All right. That's a good little setup Bear's got right there. All right, we're going to keep the Chicago movie theme going, Bear. We have Public Enemies. All right, a few Big Ten teams hoping to pull off upsets today. What is your best bet in conference play today? I'm looking at Iowa, Northwestern, and Wisconsin there.
Yeah, I don't see any of those teams really pulling off upsets, but there is one favorite that I really like. It's a team that we thought was going to be in the college football playoff, Penn State, and they're not. It's a big reason why the Big Ten's probably only got 3 teams in the playoff. But the Nittany Lions have kind of hung around since the coaching changes to fire. They've been in every game. They go on the road at Michigan State today. I think a lot of people think this team is going to kind of lay down after the close call last week against Indiana. I think Penn State shows up today. This is a Michigan State team that had like 7 sacks to Minnesota. I think that Penn State team gets after the backup quarterback. I like Penn State today. Keep maybe 6-6 to get to a ball game.
See that Texas Tech fan behind you as well. Shout out to the Red Raiders in the Big 12. We'll talk more about them later. Last up, Rookie of the Year. A fitting title as we bring in our rookie sensation this season, Michigan's favorite, Dave Portnoy. Dave, how are you feeling about this matchup today?
Well, Listen, first of all, it's great to be in Ann Arbor. That's what it feels like. I know it's a 4-hour drive, but everybody who goes to Michigan knows Michigan owns the city of Chicago. This is our #1 city. If you look around, you don't even know Northwestern is here. Now, having said that, I'm a little bit nervous about this game. This is for Michigan fans only. Like, we got to get through Northwestern. What you got to understand when you play at Michigan, everybody circles us. This is their Super Bowl. They've been waiting the whole season for Michigan. Us, we just got to stick to business, get through this game, and continue. As Urban said, all we got to do is get to Ohio State. It's the easiest game on our schedule, but I am nervous about today. Northwestern is slippery. It's early, so I'm a little bit nervous. I think Michigan will win, but I hate saying it. I am nervous.
All right, Dave, a shocker. You're leaning Michigan. I don't think Northwestern fans. All right. You want some of that Chicago deep-style pizza. Dave, you want some of that pizza? Is there anything in that box?
I'm looking at it. That has to be one of 4 Northwestern fans here today.
Deep dishing out a W. I got it. I
didn't even know they had a mascot.
Speaking of Michigan, 3 straight wins for Sharon Moore and the Wolverines. Since that loss out west to Matt's Trojans, they'll need to get through Northwestern today and Maryland next week before the big one against the Buckeyes to close out November here on Fox. Speaking of Texas Tech, yeah, they're ranked number 6. They are your Big 12 favorite, Red Raiders. They host UCF today, 3:30 Eastern, right here on Fox. Fan Cam is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Fan Work is Thirsty Work. Wolverines, 5-1 in Big Ten play. Part of the tie for 4th with USC. They know, though, they can't afford to slip up in the Windy City today as they meet the Wildcats inside Wrigley. For more on what's coming up, here's our Gus Johnson.
Still to come on Big Noon Kickoff from Wrigley Field. Jenny Taft sits down with the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, Sharon Moore.
Did you envision yourself here?
Absolutely not.
Ahead of their top 10 clash with Georgia, the head coach of the Texas Longhorns, Steve Sarkisian.
Mental and physical toughness. Tough all day on 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on!
National Radio Hall of Famer Colin Cowherd.
Live in Chicago.
And the Barstool College Football Crew.
This man is a moron. He's an idiot. He's an
Rob, please, I have to keep these boys from fighting.
As Big Noon Kickoff continues from the friendly confines in Chicago.
Big Noon Kickoff sponsored by Wendy's new chicken tendies and their powerhouse of sauces. A little bit of breaking news right now. Former Penn State head coach James Franklin has emerged as the top target for Virginia Tech to fill their head coaching vacancy. The two sides currently engaged in talks. Interest in both sides. They are hoping a deal can get done by the end of the weekend. Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian set to join us momentarily, and his Longhorns have fought their way back into the college football top 10 this week in the playoff rankings. No changes 1 through 5. Texas Tech's victory over then unbeaten BYU moved them up to number 6. And for more on the rankings, here's Casey Smith and the Barstool College Football Crew with Mark Ingram.
Thank you so much, Rob. Of course, like you said, we've got Dave Portnoy, Dan Gass, Eddie Walker, and Mark Ingram. Boys, this is the time where everybody's looking at the playoffs, looking at what's coming. The college football playoff rankings, Dave, who do you think is the most overrated team right now?
Yeah, so I didn't have much problem with any of the rankings, but if you look at, by the way, great chance behind me. It's great to be in Ann Arbor. But if you look at the rankings, one team has 3 losses. That's Tennessee. Yeah. Then you go look at Tennessee's schedule. They haven't beaten anybody. I think their best win is actually Mississippi State. So they probably have no business being in the top 25. They'd be my most overrated team.
Dan?
Yeah, my most overrated team is easy. It's South Florida. They get credit for beating a bad Boise team. They get credit for beating a bad Florida team. Let's figure out these rankings. You won some big games in September. They're not that big now. South Florida's overrated.
Man, I have to agree with you. I think it's Tennessee. You said their best win is your Bulldogs.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Why do we have to do this every week?
Unfortunately, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? No shade to y'all. You know, more so
it was
about
a little
Tennessee.
bit shady.
You know what I mean?
That's not a good resume.
Their defense is cheeks. You know what I mean? So
cheeks.
Double cheeks.
Double cheeks.
So
yes.
I had to agree with Dave, man. Tennessee.
Brandon, what do you think?
It's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt hasn't beaten anybody. They're ahead of Miami. Miami beat Notre Dame. Miami is behind Vanderbilt for reasons I cannot fathom. Vanderbilt hasn't done nothing in the SEC, dragging them along a little
Miami's
bit.
last 2 losses, SMU, Louisville.
SMU in overtime
Who
in
they
Louisville.
beat? Florida State and like.
That's fine, losses, but where are your wins? Miami has one. Vanderbilt doesn't.
Who's Miami's win?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
And they're behind them in the rankings.
You forgot
Way to
about
go,
Notre
Dave.
Dame.
I walked into that
Coach,
one.
we did.
I walked into that one.
Yeah, and Miami's behind Notre Dame in the rankings. Like everyone else, Alabama's ahead of Georgia because of the head-to-head. Georgia's ahead of Ole Miss because of the head-to-head. BYU's ahead of Utah because of the head-to-head. Miami's behind Notre Dame, and they won the head-to-head, so I don't know why they're sitting behind Notre Dame.
It's all how you're playing down the stretch, I guess, which they do look into.
Well, and Dan, we have a couple weeks left before the final rankings. Who do you think right now is the most underrated team?
All right, so it goes into the South Florida's overrated. I think James Madison is underrated. I got a little stat for you. James Madison beat Texas State, who beat UTSA, who beat Tulane, who beat Memphis, who then beat USF. And I'm not saying this because one of my best friends and co-hosts of Pardon My Take, PFT, is a James Madison alum, and I'm trying to get the narrative going. James Madison should be in the playoff over USF.
Mark, what do you think about that?
Man, hey, it's going to play itself out. That group of six is going to play itself out. But my team is Texas Tech. I think they're number 6 in the country. Their only loss came when their starting quarterback was hurt. They have a top 5 offense in the country, a top 5 defense in the country. And they're number 6. I don't know why they're that far back in the rankings. They should be up there in the top 4 vying for a first-round bye. So the Red Raiders are my most underrated team.
Brandon?
Well, it sounds like I'm repeating because I said them during overrated, but it's Miami. I don't know why they're behind Utah. I don't know why they're behind Vanderbilt. I don't know why they're behind anybody. And I should have worn a hat. The wind is playing tricks with my hair. They look good in hats. I look terrible.
It's okay. You'll be all right. Dave.
Also, Miami, big win against Notre Dame.
Big win against Notre Dame.
People forget.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be – this is unbiased. People are like, oh, he's playing in the crowd doing this. But anytime you look at the defending national champs from 2 years ago, and you lose early, you got a freshman quarterback.
Who's looking at
every single game getting better. He's young. Michigan, nobody wants to see Michigan on their schedule. I think Michigan is very dangerous, very underrated around 18. They're my most underrated team in the rankings.
Who would they be?
They don't let it grow.
Nathan, nobody.
Nobody. This is underrated. 18. They're not a top 10 team. Would you want to play Michigan on your schedule?
Yes,
because
very
they won
much.
a national title 2 years ago?
Yeah, defending 2 times from 2 years.
At this point in the season, it's the only thing he cares about. The Michigan-Ohio State game in a couple weeks. So, Rob, we'll send it back to you.
Easiest game on the schedule, right?
Every year it's Ohio State.
I'm telling you, we'll be here forever, Rob. Please take it away.
You got it. The Longhorns on a roll, winners of their last 4 games. So, too, are the Georgia Bulldogs, who've won 5 straight. Those two face off tonight as 2 of the hottest teams in the nation. With that, Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian joins us live. And, Coach, thanks for joining us this morning. I know you got a lot on your plate today. I want to go back to early October. The loss at Florida put you guys at 3-2 out of the rankings. How did you decide to go about managing and messaging your staff and your players at that point?
Well, first of all, kind of pretty cool. You guys are at Wrigley Field, man. I don't know. That's an awesome setup for you guys. So anyway, that's pretty cool. For us, I think the thing was, fortunately / unfortunately, we've been here before. 2 years ago, we lost to Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, and then we had to win out to get into the Big 12 championship game, which we ultimately did. We won the Big 12, and we got into the 4-team, CFP. This year, last season, we lost to Georgia early in the year, and we had to win out. We had to go win at Kyle Field to get into the SEC championship game. And so, when that happened, I just had to kind of remind everybody, hey, we're 0-1 in SEC play. That's our record. Don't worry about 3-2. Don't worry about, rankings and CFP. We're 0-1 in SEC play. Last year, we went 7-1. We had the best regular season record in the conference. We played for an SEC championship game. Let's just focus on one game at a time. Let's see what our record looks like at the end of November. And I credit our staff and our players a ton because they did that. They focused on the task at hand each week, and that was what was right in front of them.
Hey, Sark, bucket list. We had batting practice in Wrigley Field, brother. Think about that.
Oh, man.
A little bit of Wolverine fans behind me.
Coach, what did Leinart do? Did he hit any out? I mean, did Leinart do anything in the BP?
He didn't look good. I'll be really honest. I was expecting more out of Matt. A little embarrassing. Hey, your receivers and quarterback and Arch look fantastic against Vanderbilt. You lead the SEC in yards after catch. What is clicking between the receivers and quarterback right now, Arch?
Well, I think one thing is we finally got some continuity, where we were a little nicked up earlier in the season with Wingo being nicked up, with DeAndre Moore being nicked up, missing a game. We didn't have Emmett Mosley for all of training camp and for the first 4 games of the regular season. So I just think the rapport with Arch, the rapport with those guys has continually gotten better and better. I think the coach, whoever's calling the plays, is probably calling a few more things advantageous for those guys to go make plays. But ultimately, I think we're playing fast. We're playing, cohesive. and the offensive line's given a little bit more time to get through his progression and make some reads.
You know, in all my years at Florida, we never played in Athens between the hedges. I'm not sure if you have. What kind of crowd is that going to be? One of the toughest environments in the SEC. I've never been there.
I haven't been there either. I've obviously heard all about it, and we're expecting an electric atmosphere. Oddly enough, this is going to be our fourth top 10 ranked opponent this season. Obviously we started out Ohio State. We played OU when they were in the top 10. We played Vanderbilt when they were in the top 10. Now we're playing, obviously, Georgia, top 5 in the country. And we've been to some great environments over the past few years. We played at Michigan. We've played at Alabama. So I think for our players, they kind of are excited to see the arena. They're kind of excited to see the energy in the stadium. But as you know, Coach, when you're on the road in these types of environments, it's all about, what you're doing from within and the connectivity that you have as a team. You got to lean into one another. You're all you got. And ultimately, if you're going to win, that's all you need. And so we've got to keep our focus on us. But we're going to take in the moment for sure. It's going to be a great environment for college football.
Coach, really appreciate you joining us live here on Big Noon Kickoff this morning. Enjoy the game later tonight. Coming up next, the one, the only Colin Cowherd joins us to explain why QB play in the Big Ten has never been better. Speaking of quarterbacks in the Big Ten, there's true freshman Bryce Underwood. Back-to-back games, though, without a touchdown pass for him. He'll look to get back on track inside the friendly confines of Wrigley Field coming up around noon Eastern. And Modelo is here with us at Murphy's Bleachers looking for some full-time fans. Wrigley Field set to host its 6th college football game since 2010 as the Wolverines visit Northwestern here on Fox. Noon Kickoff is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. And by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please drink responsibly. Back in 2009, Wrigley hosted the second installment of the Winter Classic, the Red Wings beating the hometown Blackhawks 6-4. Looks like she had a good.
The Cubs started playing at Wrigley Field in 1916. It took another 72 years to finally play under the lights at Wrigley. On 8/8/88, that all changed.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey at Wrigley Field on this noteworthy night indeed. 8/8/88. Let there be.
The August 8th game versus the Phillies would be rained out, leading to the first official night game in Wrigley history being played on August 9th, 1988 versus the Mets.
And the Cubs won that first game under those lights right there. A 6-4 victory over the Mets with the legendary Steve Stone on the call. Now we send it down, out to center field, 400 feet from home plate. Matt Brady at the historic Ivy in center field. It is quarterback and forth. Sponsored by Wendy's new chicken tendies. It's got to be Wendy's. Oh, man, that is a great location, boys.
Incredible location. A little history on the Ivy here. It was planted back in 1937 at the inspiration of Billy Veek, who was an executive with the Cubs organization, but it was really about the owner, P.K. Wrigley. He wanted to reinforce that Wrigley Field is more than just a stadium. It's a place where obviously bring your family and enjoy a great ball game. That kicks us off here.
I mean,
It could be better than this.
We're center field. We're watching the teams warm up. This is like a bucket list item is to go to a Cubs game, but to be here for a college football game.
That's incredible.
To work with my boy, my other QB, let's go, baby.
All right, let's kick things off. Who's the most important player in the SEC today?
I'm going with Ty Simpson from Alabama. He's been the most important for this team all season long because of their inability actually to run the football. There's a couple reasons, though. The stage is set for him for the Heisman Trophy. He's firmly entrenched in this race. He's going to have a big games here down the stretch to get to an SEC championship game. But then also, they're playing Oklahoma. Oklahoma's defense, Brady's one of the best defenses in the country. I talked about the lack of the run game. Every week, there's just more pressure on him to go out and have to play well.
I've got Arch Manning. We just had Steve Sarkisian on, obviously the head coach of Texas. Look, they're on a 4-game winning streak, and Arch is playing some of his best football the last 2 weeks. He's averaging over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns per game, completing nearly 70% of his passes. So they've started to find a rhythm there. And by the way, he's taking out a Georgia defense, not the same as what we're accustomed to seeing, all right? Last in the SEC in sacks, last in turnover gains. So he's got a big-time opportunity to keep Texas playoff hopes alive.
Let's talk about some coaches. There's been a lot of negativity about the coaching carousel, but let's highlight some of the positives. Coach of the year for you outside of the Power Four is who?
Jim Mora at UConn. Jim Mora Jr. He's done a fantastic job. Last 2 seasons, 16-7. This is a program that, again, doesn't have a ton of resources, but he's been able to build them back up. How about this, their quarterback, too, Joe Fignano. 25 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They take on Air Force today. He's up for another big game today.
I'm going with Bob Chesney, James Madison. Remember a couple years ago who was the head coach at James Madison?
Yeah.
Kurt Signetti. 2 years. He takes all his staff. He takes all their best players. Chesney gets a job. Now we are here 2 years later. They're the best team in the Sun Belt at 8-1, the #1 offense in conference, the #1 defense in the conference. Oh, and by the way, they have a legit shot potentially to get to a college football playoff, which is remarkable. The job he's done is incredible.
It's incredible, the job he's done. And again, Duke, if they happen to win the ACC, a lot of people maybe pulling for JMU get in.
All right, Brady, so we are here at Wrigley Field, obviously, and you have a little history here. You may have thrown out a first pitch for the Cubs?
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
Look at the hair. I needed a haircut.
I mean, good flow. Good flow.
Do
you throw a strike? You throw a strike.
I think so, did I? I don't know.
A little high.
A little high. Maybe in today's game, a stand or someone. So,
I mean, gosh, you're just the Greek god.
All right, let's send it over to the man calling the game with another member of our Fox family, Joel Klatt.
All right, thank you, Brady. And just real quick, Brady, why didn't you throw from the actual mound? Like before? It's a short throw. Anyways, we're here with Colin Cowherd, now in your city of Chicago. Coach Urban Meyer here as well. And we wanted to talk a little bit about the West Coast teams in this conference in the Big Ten and their impact on the conference now that we've seen them for a couple of years. We've got USC in the college football playoff hunt. Washington has been a good team, obviously. Oregon, certainly a great team. Big win last night over Minnesota. What do you think the impact has been of these West Coast teams?
Well, the Big Ten was always the tough, physical, cold weather conference. Point of attack, superior to the West Coast teams. But the West Coast has always been the creative coast. From Silicon Valley, the first laser, the first computer, all of our iPhones, California-based. 13 starting NFL quarterbacks, West Coast. 9 from California. Most accurate quarterback in the country this year, Julian Sand. Carlsbad, California. Mendoza, transferred from California, though he's from Miami. The West Coast has always been more of a finesse conference, but the creative part of our country. So what the Big Ten lacked, they had all the toughness and the Michigan and the Ohio State and the physicality. California, the West Coast brought quarterbacks, passing, the GOAT, Tom Brady, California, Aaron Rodgers, California, Andrew Luck, California, John Elway, California. So when you have this mesh of the creative of California and the West with the toughness of the Midwest, we didn't talk about the Big Ten being better than the SEC 4 years ago. Now it's legitimate because of the mesh.
Well, quarterback play was very average. Top to bottom.
They love you here, Coach.
Top to bottom, the Big Ten, it's the best quarterback play in my lifetime. But the other thing I want to add is the Pac-12, the last decade or so, the offensive line play was very poor.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you have to give Oregon and USC credit. They come to the Big Ten. They have the vision. You better get you some dudes up front. And that's what they've done. They have 2 of the best offensive lines in the Big Ten, and that's Oregon and USC.
Yeah, to me, it's about style. And it used to be, like you were saying, a very specific style in the Big Ten. Now, you changed that. You brought a lot of speed to the Big Ten when you came to Ohio State. But one of the things that I look at in particular now is that you can't be a one-dimensional team and win this conference. You've got to be able to play a balanced style of football. That's why we see Ohio State doing what they're doing and Indiana doing what they're doing, Oregon doing what they're doing. Quick example, both of these teams here today, Michigan and Northwestern, very specific, run-oriented, line of scrimmage teams. They go out to USC, they both lose. But it goes the opposite direction because USC goes to Illinois, Washington goes to Michigan, and they get into a game where they're behind and they're losing the line of scrimmage, and then they lose the game. So to me, it's made the conference much deeper, and it's rewarded the teams that can play balanced football. And I think that's why Ohio State and Indiana and Oregon have really done a nice job. But we do have to say, I think USC still a playoff chance. What do you think their chances are?
I think they'll beat Iowa close. It's sloppy and wet and rainy. Plays into Iowa today. That's a 28-27 game. I'll take USC late, very close. Oregon beat Minnesota. 2 more Pac-12 teams doing fine against Big Ten foes. I think they lose at Oregon, though Oregon's depleted with all their receivers, so I think the game's close. But Oregon's a big play offense, and USC gives up big plays. It's in Eugene. So I think USC is one of the final teams out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's your home city now. Are you going to be at Murphy's buying drinks for everybody today?
Wait.
That's what we heard. Get that drinks on Coward. Drinks on Coward. Drinks on Coward. All right, you got a whole crew up there.
We appreciate that.
Rob Collins going to be at Murphy's. What do you think?
Great news. I'm heading over there right now. Coming up, this controversial fake punt last weekend led to some strong words between two of our Big Noon crew. We will try our best to resolve that dispute next. We might just end up amplifying it. And you can find Big Noon Kickoff on social. We are at BNK on Fox. Wrigley Field's college football history next when BNK returns to the Windy City. Which hosted college football games back in the 1920s and 30s, and after a lengthy hiatus, the sport returned to the friendly confines in 2010.
In 2010, the Friendly Confines was redesigned to host the Northwestern Illinois Land of Lincoln game, marking the first college football game at Wrigley Field since 1938.
This is going to be a unique experience. College football in Wrigley Field. This is a memory of a lifetime.
That chain of events would eventually see the iconic venue host 4 more games over the last 5 seasons, including Ohio State's win over Northwestern last year.
Carnell Tate, touchdown Buckeyes. Chicago kid, welcome home, Carnell Tate.
There's Northwestern quarterback Preston Stone playing in his first game here at Wrigley Field. He said it was fun watching the Michigan defense on tape this week. He's going to need a big game if you're going to get an upset here for the Wildcats. Here's his head coach, David Braun, with our Jenny Taft in today's Big Noon Report, sponsored by Modelo, now recruiting full-time fans.
Well, Coach, what an incredible atmosphere today. So much history, but I know Northwestern has played here before. How do you use that to your advantage?
Yeah, I think the messaging all week long is this is a home game, and got to treat it like a home game. We've experienced Wrigley before. We've done a great job of creating a home field advantage all season long, and that needs to continue today.
To beat Michigan today, what will be the key? In so many ways, you said we have to beat Michigan at their own game.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to win the rushing battle, and we got to win the turnover battle. And at the end of the day, great football team in Michigan in all 3 phases. It's going to take 4 quarters of being us.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
And under Coach Braun, these Cats have seen a noticeable improvement led by an upgraded defense. They've already surpassed their Big Ten and overall win totals from last season, and a victory today inside Wrigley would make them bowl eligible. As we welcome you back just outside of Wrigley Field, we've got some proper Chicago sausage right here and barbecued meats. Thanks to local BBQ master Brian Bishop for treating us with the scrub. Get that tomahawk, Mark.
Yeah.
Bishop's Pitmaster Barbecue, a must.
Can we share?
You want a little bite? You want a little bite?
Hey, how we go? Yeah. All right, here we go.
No, don't take that tomahawk.
That's not real. Yeah,
keep the tomahawk, Mark. I want a little bite of that. Last week on Big Noon Kickoff, Dave had some choice words for USC's jersey manipulation, and yes,
I don't
Matt
know that whole thing
fired back.
There you go.
USC, who are dirtbags, they put out the punter. It looked like the punter wearing number 80. It was actually the 3rd-string backup quarterback.
Boy, that's Dave's worst rant of the year. That's a terrible rant, Dave. Be careful. Dave Portnoy is the biggest dirtbag of all time. Am I right, Iowa?
All right, those two reunited with Big Cat, trying to keep things calm. Good luck, Big Cat.
All right, thank you, Rob. Boys, I know you went to dinner last night. Did you settle the beef, the dirtbag beef?
Well, let me say this. As a Michigan man, you can't spell Michigan without integrity. And one thing that I know at Michigan, when we take shots at somebody, we don't do it when they're not there. If we're going to talk trash, we'll do it to your face.
I'm right
here. This guy waited till I was miles away. So listen, USC apologized. They got penalized for it. I was correct. This guy waited till I was in a different country to take a shot. very, very cowardly USC-ish behavior.
Listen, I want to apologize for absolutely nothing, Dave. And I actually brought you a little present. Talk about integrity. All the teams that you love have great integrity. Michigan, great integrity.
Great integrity.
The New England Patriots, great integrity. It's okay.
Champions. You're just mentioning champions.
Our backup quarterback and our star punter, Sam Heward, signed a jersey for you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
To Dave. He said, thank you for calling all USC guys dirtbags.
Oh, nice.
Really
it was a dirtbag move.
By the way, it's a small, so it should fit you pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
You like that? There we go.
And
by the way, 5'10" and a half is average height.
Yep.
Again, Michigan men know that because we go to school.
He is 5'9". Good point on the integrity. Does Reggie Bush have his Heisman back?
My senior year.
Yeah, I bet.
Does Reggie Bush have his Heisman back?
He does.
Okay, all right. Good point on integrity. All right, let's go to Ask Dave. We got some questions for Dave here. Dave, the first question, where does Wrigley land on your list of favorite sports venues? You said it's going to be a Michigan home game today.
It is a Michigan home
Maize
game.
and blue everywhere.
And it's not only Michigan home game. Chicago is Michigan City. Wrigley's beautiful. I put it up. I think I had on 3 on my list. Obviously, I'm a Boston guy, so I'm partial to Fenway. But Wrigley's up there. Absolutely magical.
What about you, Matt?
I grew up a baseball player, so this is bucket list.
You didn't look it yesterday.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I mean, I grew up a baseball player. I love Wrigley Field. My first time was actually with you earlier this season, so to be here with Big Noon, it's awesome.
And congrats on buying another World Series.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, that's
all
back
right,
to back.
next one. Let's go to the next one. Dave, do you believe that Belichick really won't take one of these NFL jobs that's opening? He said he's not taking the Giants job.
Yeah, he said he's on to Wake Forest. I think that was a Jordan press release. I don't think he's going back to the NFL. He's going to win a lot more than he is in the college ranks right now.
I'd agree with that. All right, last question. I think this is an insult question. Why does Big Cat only show up the week after the Badgers win? Listen.
Great question.
You've been just MIA all year,
we
man.
only got 3 wins on the year. I pity you guys because you guys are like all tense. Oh, no, we got to win. I don't have to win anything. Our season's been over since September.
That's got to feel like crap.
He had a guy wearing a bag over his head. A Wisconsin fan had a paper bag over his head.
We're rebuilding. Yeah. We're rebuilding. We're taking for a draft pick. All right, Rob, we're going to send it back to you.
Hey, Big Cat, you are always welcome here, win or loss. Just around the corner here in Wrigley Field, our colleague Tom Brady opened up a new location of his Card Vault store a few months ago, named America's best card shop. Card Vault curates unique collections and immersive experiences that bridge history, sports, and culture. Fernando Mendoza and Julian Sayin have been absolutely stellar so far. Coming up next, Matt and Mark will welcome us into Club Heisman to break down whether one of these 2 Big Ten QBs will lift that trophy next month. Mark went after that tomahawk, man. No fork, no knives, just bicuspids, baby. Opened in 1914, Wrigley Field, the second oldest park in Major League Baseball. It's seen boxing, soccer, Pearl Jam, you name it. Today, it hosts Big Ten football. Fox Big Noon Kickoff is sponsored by GMC. We are professional grade. And by Wendy's new chicken tenders. Take a look at the transition from baseball to football, and it's not a new thing here at Wrigley Field, as former Chicago Bear Mark Carrier tells us.
The Chicago Bears called Wrigley Field home for 50 years, from 1921 to 1970. During that time, the monsters of the Midway had Hall of Famers like Bronco Nagurski, Sid Luckman, Dick Butkus, and Mike Dicker. In 1965, rookie sensation Gale Sayers navigated a muddy surface for an incredible 6 touchdowns against the 49ers. The Kansas Comet had 11 touches for 202 yards from scrimmage and took a punt return 85 yards to the house. Sayers' legendary performance is still tied for the most TDs in an NFL game 60 years later.
Wrigley Field hosted 5 NFL championship games between 1933 and 1963. The Bears winning 4 of them. Time now for Bear Bites, and for it, we go across the street and inside to Murphy's Bleachers. Bear and Brady, guys.
That's right, Rob. Back inside Murphy's Bear. Glad to be joining you. Let's kick things off talking about my alma mater, Notre Dame. They're up to number 9 in the college football playoff rankings. They're playing as one of the best football teams in the country right now, but they've got to win convincingly, and this is probably their toughest test today.
It is, but people always talk about Notre Dame. Why are they a big favorite? They always lose these games and they get upset. They actually don't. They've won 47 straight games away from home as a double-digit favorite. Marcus Freeman has won all 7 of his games at Notre Dame in this role away from home as a double-digit favorite. I don't see the upset at all today. I like their team total over 33.5. I think they score and score and score and score. No upset alert today for the Irish.
I love to hear that, and also love to hear Maya love. But let's go to the SEC. Let's talk about Oklahoma headed to T-Town to take on Alabama. I look at this game as basically an elimination game. I don't know that either team can afford to lose this one.
Well, I think Alabama's got a bunch of wins already in the bank, so Alabama can afford to lose it more than Oklahoma. But the thing is, Alabama has found ways all year long to win these games. And people say, when is it going to end? When is it going to end? They got a little 2023 Washington thing going with Kalen DeBoer, who was the head coach at UW, that kind of one-dimensional in the passing game. DeBoer is a Power 4 head coach, 16-4 in games inside of a touchdown or less, 17-2 against ranked teams. All the guy does is win big games and win close games, and I expect nothing to change tonight.
All right, let's go to a D2 match you got your eye on in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. We got to look at a map to talk about this one. Tell me about the Battle of Ravine.
Well, this is what makes college football great. The Battle of Ravine, Arkadelphia, Washington Baptist, Henderson State. The schools are right across a river from each other. You get dressed in your own locker room. You go across the street about a half a mile away. You play the game. It's what makes college football the most unique and greatest sport in the world.
I mean, we're sitting here at Murphy's. It is packed in here. People are still waiting for drinks. We're going to send it over to Club Heisman. Boys, tell me what you got, but tell me what you want for your drink.
We're still trying to find you guys. We can't find you in the sea of people over there, Brady and Bear. But yeah, it is time for Club Heisman, Mark. Listen. Okay, just go. We're in November. We're only a couple weeks away from naming our next Heisman Trophy winner. Brady and Bear just talked about that game. Let's talk about a couple quarterbacks in the SEC that you like.
The SEC showdown, man. We got to start with Ty Simpson, my boy, quarterback for Alabama. I don't think there's one player more important to his team in the country than Ty Simpson. 21 pass touchdowns, 1 interception, the best TD to interception ratio in the nation. Hey, and then I got Marcel Reed as well. A&M, They're undefeated, the Aggies. We know he's electric running the football, but and he can pass. 15 touchdowns in the last 3 games. They're on a collision course. The winner of that SEC championship game, if they both make it, put themselves in contention for the Heisman.
They might win it. Okay, I'm going to go to the Big Ten Conference. I'm going to talk about those 2 quarterbacks. You have Julian Sain for Ohio State, and you have Fernando Mendoza for Indiana. I know, but listen, Julian Sain, guys, let's start with Fernando Mendoza. You talk about moments, right? Iowa, game-winning drive. Oregon, game-winning drive. Then how about last week, Penn State, that drive? He played terrible in the game, but all that matters when your best players show up in the moments, and he's certainly done that. And then Julian Sain, on pace to break the completion percentage for college football this year. He hasn't really been tested. That might be the knock. He hasn't had his moment yet. That might come in a couple weeks to Michigan, on the road to Michigan, and potentially in a Big Ten championship game. All right, we heard the boys just talk about Jeremiah Love going to Pitt today. We got to give some RB some love in this.
Man, you got to give the RB some love. It's not just a quarterback award. It goes to the best player in the country.
Well, I mean, it is.
It is. But you got to, I won the thing, you know what I mean? So you got to show love to one of the best players in the entire country. He has over 130 scrimmage yards per game. He has 16 touchdowns, leads the nation, and he's just the man. He runs it, he catches it, he's electric, man. You got to show this man some love for the Heisman.
Yeah, he might be the best player in all of college football. Another guy who's definitely, he's not going to win the Heisman Trophy, but he should be invited is Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker for Texas Tech. We don't see a lot of defensive players get invited. 7 forced fumbles this year. That's one of the best defenses in the country. I think Texas Tech's a legit national championship team. This dude is all over the field. He's the best player on the field all the time. I think he's got to at least get an invite.
He needs an invite, man. You need to show love to the best players in the country. He's definitely one of them. Look at him striking the Heisman pose, man.
How cool is this, man, that we're at Wrigley Field?
Wrigley Field. We out here, B&K times Wrigley, man. It don't get no better than this.
Rob, back to you, buddy.
All right, bud, thank you. Coming up, as we get closer to December's college football playoff, we're going to take a closer look at the field at large. Who's still in, who's out from each conference. Yeah, Michigan, you're still in. There's your head coach, Sharon Moore, walking in. He's just 14-7, but depending how you want to do the math, unbeaten versus the Buckeyes. Those 2 in 2 weeks, but today it's Michigan and Northwestern. Coming up next, hour 2 of Big Noon Kickoff from Wrigley Field. Good morning from one of the most iconic stadiums in all of sports, Wrigley Field here in Chicago. Today, though, it's a bit of a different look for this timeless locale. From a field that has been graced by so many stars, baseball and football, like there's two of our stars, Brady Quinn and Matt Leinart. And we transition over to the dugout. So many legends have led from there. There's our head coach, Urban Meyer. Oh, he's loved here in Chicago. There is a spirit that you can certainly feel throughout this unique, special ballpark, and it takes you all the way out to the beloved bleachers. There's a bleacher bum for you, Mark Ingram. We're ready to play ball today, my friend. And we go to the iconic scoreboard that charts history like our upcoming Michigan Northwestern showdown. Bear, yeah, I see you, Bear. You got the best seat in the house, buddy. College football is back at the one and only Wrigley Field. Hour 2, the big noon kickoff from the friendly confines starts right now.
Is there any other place you'd rather be? Let's go!
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me? Hurt my feelings. Give me my theme music. Walking away from me.
Highly touted freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood has Michigan right where they need to be. All their goals still in front of them, including Big Ten championship game appearance and the college football playoffs, both still in the mix for the Maize and Blue. Preston Stone will run the point for what the Wildcats hope will be their biggest win of this bounce-back season. A W over the Maize and Blue means the Cats are bowl bound. Big Noon Kickoff is sponsored by Wendy's new chicken tendies and their powerhouse of sauces. Hard to tire of this view. This is something else. We are just beyond the center field wall. Murphy's bleachers buzzing next to us. Historic Wrigley Field, our backdrop. A lot of Maize and Blue here. Northwestern band. There's Murphy's bleachers. We'll take you inside there in a second. There's some activity inside Murphy's.
There you go.
Hey, there's a Buckeye.
Friendly confines.
Man, what a great man. 2 weeks time, Buckeyes and Wolverines. And we welcome you to Big Noon Kickoff from one of the great sporting venues anywhere. Wrigley Field right here in Chicago. Got the band playing, man. The wind is blowing out. We might have some dingers today.
Yeah?
This is great. Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Mark Ingram, Matt Leinart, Urban Meyer here with you. It feels like opening day weather, by the way. They're talking about, listen, it snowed on Monday here in Chicago. It is mid-60s by kickoff.
Spectacular.
Sun's coming out. What a setting. What a setting. Well, it's hard to believe, but there are only 3 weeks left in the regular season. So we figure this is a perfect time to take a closer look at who's still alive for one of those 12 college football playoff spots.
In the Big Ten, Ohio State and Indiana are in great shape. One team would seem to have odds in their favor, but they can't afford to stumble down the stretch. But could there be more than 3? The SEC numbers are the ones no other conference will want to hear. Up to 7 teams can finish with 10 wins. It appears 4 of them are in strong position to make the playoff. But is it possible they could even get a 15 win? Here are the numbers in the Big 12. Texas Tech has the inside track, but could this be a multi-bid league? 6 teams are still in the mix to make the conference title game, but anything can happen as only a few had ASU in the playoff at this time last year. The ACC numbers appear to be the most challenging of the 4 major conferences. 6 teams and maybe only 1 spot barring chaos everywhere. After starting the year 0-2, Notre Dame has to run the table as an independent. They are visiting number 22 Pitt today, which should be their last test of the season and would help punch their ticket with the win. South Florida is the only ranked team amongst a group of 6 with a few other teams as possibilities. But the race for the American is crowded at the top, and there are Sun Belt and Mountain West schools lurking. There's still a lot of football left, so we'll see how the numbers add up at the end of the month.
A lot of football left, a lot of questions still remaining out there. We've got a total of 32 teams still alive as we head into the final few weeks of this regular season. So we're going to go conference by conference, and these guys are going to tell you who's going to make the playoffs. We're going to start with the Big Ten. Now, according to our crack research team, 5 Big Ten programs still alive, highlighted, of course, by Ohio State and Indiana in the top 2 spots. Urban, from the Big Ten, who's going?
Big Ten Conference, Ohio State in, obviously, Indiana in, Oregon in. Then you got 2 lost teams, USC. The problem with USC, I like USC. They're playing pretty good right now. The problem is they go to Autzen Stadium. So I don't know if I like that. And then you have the Wolverines in 14 days and 55 minutes, and in honor of Wrigley Field, they're out. No chance. They play the Buckeyes. Here's the problem with Big Ten. You might only have 3 teams right now, and that's a big shocker. You'd expect 4, maybe 5 from the Big Ten, but there's a chance 3 teams from the Big Ten.
I'm sorry, one more time? They're out. They're out. Michigan's out? Okay, all right. Over to the SEC, which has a deep field of contenders, including 3 of the top 5. A&M, Bama, Georgia. Mark, which SEC sides will be in the final college football playoff field?
To me, right now, it seems like the SEC is going to get 4 teams in. You have A&M, you have Alabama, you have Georgia, you have Ole Miss. The question is whether or not they get a 5th team in. Now, Texas, they have Georgia today. They have A&M the last week. They have A&M the last week of the season. So if they just split, if they get 2 of those last 3 wins, I think they have a great case to be a 3-loss team that goes into the playoff over a 2-loss team like Utah, who doesn't really have any good wins. Now, if they do drop to Georgia, if they do drop to A&M, then you have a 2-loss Vandy to possibly getting in. So you have 4 teams, I think 5 teams. You say only 3 out the Big Ten. I think 5 teams out the SEC get in.
You like that?
Wow.
You like that Vanderbilt team too?
I'm
just saying. I'm sorry.
My goodness, Matthew.
All right, let's go to the Big 12.
Only 1 Big 12 team got in last year.
Yep.
This year, though, Texas Tech certainly looks strong. A couple others out there with the shot. So, Matt, who for the Big 12?
I think it's only 1 team again. I don't think there's much chaos in the Big 12 this year. Texas Tech has solidified themselves as the best team in that conference. And I think one of the best teams, truly a team that maybe could win a national championship. The balance on offense with Cameron Dickey, Barron Morton throwing the football, but it's the defense. The defense is no joke. With those 2 pass rushers, we just talked about Jacob Rodriguez and the Heisman. I think the only caveat is, you mentioned Utah, and I know the resume isn't great, but if the SEC beats up each other here the next couple of weeks, because a lot of these teams kind of play each other, they're I think, what are they, 12 or 13? They're right outside. They could just kind of find themselves in the playoff by default. So maybe 2 teams, but I think just 1 team gets in from the Big 12.
Utah's got a tricky trip to Waco this weekend. Just keep that in mind. The ACC picture, man, it is muddled, and that's been part of the fun of the ACC this season. Miami, they are the highest ranked team at 15, but they're in 6th place in their conference. Brady.
Pony up, Brady.
Who emerges?
This is wild. The ACC this year is the Big 12 of last year, where I don't know that we're going to find out maybe until the very end of the season in the ACC championship who's actually going to get in. But Miami's the highest ranked. Unfortunately, they got a couple losses in conference play. So it's really down to Georgia Tech, UVA, Pitt, SMU, and Duke. And it just kind of reminds me, we're here in Wrigley, obviously. It reminds me of like those baseball races you see outside around. Like, I don't know who's going to win, but I'll say this. Keep an eye on 2 matchups. This week, Duke versus UVA. The winner of that will be in the best position to play in the ACC championship. And then in 2 weeks, Georgia Tech versus Pitt. Now, I personally believe Notre Dame's going to pound Pitt into oblivion, so there won't be much left of them when Georgia Tech ends up playing them in a couple of weeks. But Georgia Tech, UVA, they'll play for the ACC championship. The winner, I think, will be Georgia Tech, and they might be the only team when it's all said and done that ends up representing the ACC.
And again, apparently Pitt doesn't care if they get pounded into oblivion. More on that a little bit later. All right, let's head across Waveland Avenue as we take you back inside Murphy's, and we welcome back the Bear, Chris Felica. All right, Bear, we're going to finish up with the independent and the group of 6 teams right now. And this will be your Good Hands Report, sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Net program. Notre Dame, they are in the field as of now, up 1 spot to number 9. South Florida now in the mix after Memphis's loss last week. Bear, who's getting in?
I think Notre Dame, going 10-2, winning out, will get them in the playoff. Nothing is certain because if Miami wins out and goes 10-2, that gap is going to continue, and that head-to-head will come into play. But I do think Notre Dame, they win today against Pitt. They beat Syracuse. I think they're only going to get in and Stanford as well. I think they'll get in at 10-2. Group of 6, I still think South Florida is the best team. Now, they are going to have the most difficult conference title game against North Texas, who, by the way, they did beat earlier in the year down in Texas, Denton. So I think South Florida is the best group of 6 team. I do think that they'll get in, and I think Notre Dame 10-2. While there might be some debate, I do think 10-2 Notre Dame will get in.
All right, Bear, thank you. And for some other games that could have an impact on Tuesday's next college football playoff ranking reveal, we bring in Big Cat and Dave with their best bets of the day.
All right, Dave, best bets. You said you didn't love the card today. I have now fallen in love with the card because they make us do this right before kickoff, so now I have 25 plays. But what's your best bet?
Yeah, I didn't love the card. So I've been on UNC now 4 weeks. They've won 2 in a row. Belichick hasn't played good. They actually could have won 4 in a row. They fumbled going in, lost overtime. At Wake Forest coming off a big win against Virginia. I think this is a field goal game down the end. They could win. So I'm taking Carolina. We're on to Wake Forest.
Okay, add that to my card. I'm taking Ole Miss minus 11.5 against Florida. Revenge for last year. Also, the weird subtext here of Lane Kiffin maybe taking the Florida job. Maybe you burn the whole thing down and then you get a little more money. Lane also knows the spread. Do you have any other cards?
Yeah, well, I'm taking up Pitt because the Narduzzi saying we don't care about the game. That makes me think he really cares. I'm going to steal your – well, you give your pick. I think I'm on your pick.
I have Wazoo. La Tech is going out west to Pullman. Wazoo's played the weirdest schedule ever, so they're minus 8. And all these teams are going out there at the end of the season, non-conference games. Give me Washington State.
Well, Air Force I took because of you.
Oh, yeah, Air Force
you said
as well.
You were the Air Force
I
whisperer.
said I had 25.
I just listen to you, Dan, and when you say something, I put it in. So I have Air Force.
Air Force plus 7.5. I am the UConn Whisperer. I had them last week against Duke. Now they're playing against the Air Force team.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I would take Northwestern if I wasn't a Michigan man.
Oh, good thing you didn't say that live on air.
That's a secret.
Rob, back to you. Also Cincinnati minus 5.5 in the over in Pitt.
I like A&M. Yeah, he did say it live on air. All right, coming up, we're going to break down the ranked matchup between Notre Dame and Pitt. And does Pat Narduzzi even care about this game? Yeah, I think he does. The bye week, it helped Donovan McCulley get closer to 100%. The staff telling us that the Wolverine wideout getting his conditioning back. He should have a decent-sized role today against Northwestern. And still to come on Big Noon Kickoff from Wrigley Field, Jenny Tapp sat down with Sharon Moore this week. You'll hear that conversation. We have a special 7th-inning stretch. And Chance the Rapper gets us ready for kickoff. Michigan grads, man, they flood Chicago once their Ann Arbor days are done. And there is plenty of maize and blue out here today. More from the north side in the Wrigleyville neighborhood as BNK from Chicago rolls on. Fox Big Noon Kickoff is sponsored by Discover. It pays to discover. And by Allstate. You're in good hands. There's the defending NCAA champion Northwestern women's field hockey team. They captured the Big Ten title last week, and last night they dropped Yale 5-1 to advance to the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament. Congrats to the Cats. Back-to-back 100-yard rushing games for that man. Northwestern's Caleb Como-Lafay and the Cats, they know they have to get the run game going early and often today against the Wolverines inside Wrigley Field. Kickoff in 53 minutes. And there, the legendary statue, the immortal Cubs announcer, Harry Carey. He was more than just a broadcaster. He led the charge during Wrigley's famed 7th-inning stretch.
One of the great traditions in baseball came to Wrigley Field in 1982 when legendary broadcaster Harry Carey moved from the White Sox to the Cubs. It's been a beloved 7th-inning anthem ever since.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. I don't remember what I have to do for its root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out. And they all fall dead.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. So it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. Score is 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. How cool is that? Play ball. Let me hear ya.
Yeah. The coach.
He's out.
Pretty good, huh?
Coach could have been up. He really could have been.
That's a dream.
I can see with that face mask on and everything, just stand up, punching it out. What a great day here at Wrigley Field right now. 20 years ago, guys, Notre Dame took on Pitt. This quarterback.
Oh, look at him.
And that jersey looks familiar.
Look
Who'd you find, Brady Quinn?
Oh!
Who'd you find?
You didn't see that safety there.
You bet you did. His first touchdown catch for the Irish, and Jeff would go on to pitch for the Chicago Cubs as well. Now today, Pitt looks to keep their playoff hopes alive against Notre Dame, but according to head coach Pat Narduzzi right now, this game, if I have this correct, is really not that big of a deal. Right, Coach?
Do you feel like this is a must-win for this team when it comes to something to
Absolutely not. You know, it is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It is not an ACC game. You know, I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next 2 after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can, one at a time.
Stop.
All right, let's put up 100 on him. All right.
I brought this up to Coach, and his first reaction was what?
No, I know him very well. It's one of 2 things. It's AI. That's fake. Or it's mental warfare. Listen, Pat Narduzzi, I talked to him this week. He's a competitive nut job. You're going to see the best version of Pitt today. I can't wait to hear his locker room speech. I won't hear it. But what is that?
It's going to have some power in it.
He's having fun
A
with
Jedi
that.
mind trick or something, Coach. I don't know.
So Pitt hosting Notre Dame. Why do you see this one setting up well for Carr today?
Well, if he's going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage, right? You've got Jeremiah Love, best player in the country in my opinion. Jadarian Price, who's not too far behind him. That rushing attack is lethal. So what happens? A lot of defenders around the line of scrimmage, a lot of one-on-one opportunities. And this young man right here, a redshirt freshman, has been surgical downfield. Malachi Fields, Jordan Faison, Will Pong, you name them. They got a lot of weapons that can get open on the outside, and he's pinpoint accurate down the field making big plays. So expect C.J. Carr to be tested, but also have a big game today.
And the other quarterback in this game, Mason Heinschel, we haven't really talked about him since he's taken over. Pitt's 5-0. They're throwing the football all over the yard, 40 points per game in that span. This is the #1 scoring offense in the ACC. There it is, Aaron Donald getting his jersey retired today. Tight. And you kind of talked about C.J. Carr. Pitt wants to throw the football all over the yard, make this a high-scoring game. Notre Dame, as good as C.J. Carr is, they do want to grind it out with Jeremiah Love. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top on this one.
Man, you know I'm the RB guru, so I got to show love to the boys. Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, they have over 200 scrimmage yards and 28 touchdowns this year. They're going against Pitt and one of the top rush defenses in the country. I talked to Jeremiah Love this week. I said, what has been your biggest improvement this year? He said the efficiency, and that's what you're going to need today. 3-4 yards, following with your pass forward, because there will be a point in time where Pitt fits the wrong gap, where they overrun the play. And these backs have the vision, they have the ability to capitalize and make explosives. They haven't seen running backs like Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, and I think they're going to have a big day today.
Jeremiah had that little spinneroonie on top of the defender last week against Navy, and then took it to the house. Notre Dame Pitt, that'll be a fun one. He's a good player. Good player. All right, coming up next, Tom Rinaldi brings us a uniquely chilling story on the pain and the pluses of the infamous cold tub. A Michael Jordan flashback, and Big Cat has promised us a chilling interview when BNK from Wrigley Field returns.
Fox, Big Noon Kickoff is sponsored by GMC. We are professional grade. And by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please drink responsibly. Well, legendary Cubs, including the late Ryne Sandberg, immortalized here at Wrigley. And back in 1994, another statue-worthy Chicago icon played in the Windy City.
After winning a third consecutive NBA title, Michael Jordan abruptly retired from basketball to pursue a career in baseball.
The word retire means you can do anything you want from this day on.
In another iconic moment during Jordan's career, he made one appearance at Wrigley Field in 1994 during an exhibition game between the White Sox and the Cubs.
Michael Jordan has tied up the ball game with a ground double to left. And this crowd has seen what it came here for.
And another Jordan, another number 23 Michigan running back Jordan Marshall went for a career high 185 and 3 touchdowns last week against Purdue. Well, welcome back to Wrigleyville. What a great scene this has been all Saturday morning. Rob and the guys making their way inside the friendly confines. I'm Tom Rinaldi. There's so much we enjoy, but so much that goes into these amazing college football Saturdays before the players even reach the field. There are the practice sessions and preparation. There's the film study and the training table. There's also one other ritual. And to tell you about it, we wanted to begin with a very, 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 very cold open.
There's no real way to ease into this. Whether it's calming or comforting or clarifying, one thing's clear. It's f***ing cold.
Ah! God, this hurts. Bro, just get it all the way.
Shock. It's almost like shock. It's just like a shock. Every time you get in there, the body gets shocked.
I hate it. I hate the cold tub. I normally just scream when I get in the cold tub. Just like, oh, this is cold. It's cold.
Like, I gotta get out of here. I'm not doing this again. Like, you feel me? Like, no.
Ice is as old as Earth itself. The history of ice baths and cold therapies actually stretches back to the ancient Greeks and Romans. A few thousand years later, the reaction for most remains about the same.
It's a love-hate relationship.
I hate the cold tub. I love a cold tub.
I think of fall camp, after practice, sprinting and diving headfirst into the cold tub.
Those first, 30 seconds to a minute is just torture.
It's a funny thing watching some people squirm and run away from it.
I don't know. I didn't even got a cold tub.
Ain't gonna do you no good to hesitate. You might as well hop on in there.
Even if most players don't want to see it, hear it, or most of all, feel it, there is science to support the suffering.
Keep about 47 to 50 degrees, decreasing inflammation, decreasing soreness.
You're also reducing the pain and swelling that come with a practice. Getting in the cold tub will slow the nerve transmission down to a point where you're not feeling as intense of a pain.
Now that we're in season, we mandated post-practice every day. You know, they like, oh man, coach, you gonna make me do it today? Absolutely.
Oh, guys try to skip out on it, for sure.
We got someone leaving early.
You know, trying to put part of their feet in there, part of their legs. Like now you gotta go butt on the bottom.
It's funny because they play a violent game. They can take all the hits in the world, but as soon as you introduce that cold, they're running.
Whatever the physical benefits, speeding recovery, reducing inflammation, the tub is a mental test for all who take the plunge.
Everything in your mind and in your body saying, get out of here. That'll be the coldest you ever get. You'll never be as cold on the field as you are in that cold tub.
From player to trainer, that frosty feeling ain't for everyone.
Frigid, petrifying. I'm a man of science. My hypothesis was true. I don't like it.
Well, while we do the best we can to try to deliver stories that are hard-hitting and take you inside of college football, there are limits. So to give you a more fully immersive experience and understanding of the power of the cold tub, the one and the only Big Cat is going to try to experience it right along with us. Big Cat. Hand that to me.
Yes. This is crazy. Are we live right now?
We are right now.
This is Eric Shanks. Pay me more money.
This is becoming a game of how can Fox emasculate, humiliate the Barstool guys. What will they do next?
No screenshots. No screenshots, all right? No screenshots. Everyone take a vow. No screenshots.
Let's go, Big Cat. There you go. There we go.
All right, what are we doing? Are we doing Ask Dave or something? I don't even know. I can't hear anything. What are we doing?
We're doing Ask Dave.
Okay, Ask Dave.
Big Cat.
Great to see you, Tom.
Well, great to see you, Big Cat.
They are literally screaming him at the studio, pour ice on him, pour ice on him.
All right, pour ice. So Dave, who's coming off your Boston Mount Rushmore now that Drake May's on it? That's the first question. You have a mic.
You have
Dave
a mic.
has a mic.
Portnoy, you have a mic.
I'm in the cold tub. You're not in the cold tub. I'm in the cold tub.
This is humiliating.
You have a mic. You idiot! You have a mic!
Well, I don't want you to get electrocuted. This is humiliating. Party in the studio. This is dirty.
This is me.
Go to question two.
I don't even know what question it is. Dave, what's your best bet today?
No, all-time favorite cover.
Okay,
why would you make this man do this?
This is crazy.
Be ashamed of themselves.
Who's coming off your Boston Mount? This is
I don't
delayed
even know
now.
who's on the
I'm reading it
Rushmore.
delayed. This is delayed.
Who's on the Rushmore?
I don't know.
David Ortiz.
Oh my God.
Brady. Drake May's on it now?
I think this makes me like a Navy SEAL or something.
Simple, all-time favorite Cubbies. That's for you, I think.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. Hey, shout out Anthony Rizzo. I love that voiceover he did. I love him to death. Bring back Kyle Schwarber. Oh, my God. All right,
Did
what
anyone
is
get
this?
Rinaldi last night?
Did anyone get
This
Rinaldi?
is mean.
Did anyone get Rinaldi to dinner?
To happen here?
This is chaos.
Who else would do that? Whose idea was this, Rinaldi? Was this yours?
No, it was not. Here, I'll dot right it.
Did you break anyone down
we're
at
in
dinner
a
last
bar.
night?
The only question
We're going to be a different county next
question
week.
that really matters is not for Dave, it's for Big Cat. How do you feel?
I feel terrible.
There we go. There we go. Mercy. Let's have some mercy. Jerome Moore looking to lead the Maize and Blue to the playoff. Coming up, Jenny Tapp sits down with the Michigan head coach. Moore's counterpart on the Northwestern sidelines, David Braun, looking for his first win over a ranked opponent as the Wildcats head coach. But the winner right now, Big Cat, for the courage, the temerity,
At least they gave him a
big noon kickoff. Big Cat.
You should have stopped this, Rinaldi. This is brutal.
Celebrating 20 years of the All-State Good Hands Nets program, Michigan freshman Andrew March really seems to be finding his footing the last couple weeks.
Yeah, the former four-star out of the state of Texas. He's been a top target over the last 5 games, averaging almost 70 yards per game in that matchup.
Wrigley Field has seen its fair share of memorable moments over the years. I was a part of one of them in Game 1 of the 1984 National League Championship Series.
This ball is gone. Hit completely out of the stadium.
There was Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks, swinging his way into history.
That's it. Hey, he did it. Ernie Banks got number 500.
And another Cub pitcher made history in just his 5th career start.
Here comes the hook. Got it. 20 strikeouts. He ties the major league record.
Later that season, it was Sammy Sosa in his memorable home run chase versus Mark McGwire.
Swung on, there she goes. Number 62. Move over, Big Mac. You got company.
And in 2016, when the Cubs needed to stave off elimination in Game 5 of the World Series.
Struck him out. There will be a Game 6.
For the first time since 1908, the Cubs and Wrigley Field did finally go all the way.
That 2016 World Series was clinched in Cleveland, but the parade and celebration held right here at Wrigley Field. That, the last of the 3 World Series won by the Northsiders. Here we are inside Wrigley Field right now in our set. You see it right there at the bottom of the screen. We're about 390 feet or so away from home plate here in center field at Wrigley.
Sounds like Joel Klatt power.
We're the dirt right here, the warning track is right.
Quite get it.
We're sitting on the warning track. We're going to get you. You gave it away a little bit. All right. The Northwestern bench area is right behind us. You see Michigan's on the other side. We welcome you to Big Noon Kickoff live on Fox. That game coming up at noon. We go around the horn. Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Mark Ingram, Matt Leinart, the coach, Urban Meyer. And this is not our first time inside the friendly confines on this trip to Chicago. Yesterday, the Cubs organization kind enough to let us all take some cuts as we took in a little batting practice.
Incredible. So we're here for Michigan Northwestern, which is going to be phenomenal in Wrigley, but the real contest is the BP that's about to happen with Big Noon Kickoff here. And I got to tell you, Sneaky, Urban, former minor league baseball player, I think he's got some pop. And then I know that Ingram's still got the strength to go tank. And then I'm going to probably swing as hard as I possibly can. I just hope I get one out.
Yeah, boys, let's get loose.
A lot to get loose.
Watch out.
Yeah. It's sore.
Come on, Clatter.
Oh.
Sally, Sally, the pitcher's name is Sally. Who?
Give us a little mystery.
Boy. Damn.
I need some batting gloves.
I was surprised by the old guy, Urban Meyer, sending it right off the bat. Turns out he played minor league ball. Come on! Come on! Joel Klatt, super competitive. And then you got Mark Ingram, who's powerful. There it is! Come on! Best swing is probably me, if I'm being unbiased. I haven't swung a bat in like 10 years. Ugh. But if you break it down, I kind of have a perfect swing.
How you feel?
Shoulder's broken, but good. Worst guy out there, Rob Stone, Bear, Leinart was a little disappointing, but unbelievable to be here and just taking hacks right before Michigan whoops Northwestern.
The always humble Dave Portnoy with the breakdown right there. Nobody went yard. Clatter had some good swings.
All had some good ones.
I
Mark,
think I had the deepest average. Now, after the first round, I had to get it together, but I think I was deep.
They showed all your misses.
I know, bro. Who put together that edit? Because we were out here ranking, bro. We was hitting
You're
nukes.
a classic four-hitter.
By the way,
Feast or
with today's win, you guys might have got some out.
Bro,
a lot more win today.
I was hitting nukes, and you put my strikeouts? Like, who does that?
Well, you did miss your first 8 swings.
Yeah.
Hey, relax.
A, Brady didn't join us. B, nobody had more swings than you yesterday.
Relax,
you had. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying I was giving you some love.
Get it to
I
Jenny.
think you could have taken it out yard.
Get it to Jenny.
All right, let's welcome in Jenny Taft right now, who is working today's game with Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt. I sound like Gus Johnson right about now. All right, Jenny, you had a chance to head to Ann Arbor this week, catch up with Sharon Moore.
Rob, well, I don't know about you. It feels like we blinked and we're playing football in November. But thankfully for Michigan, the last couple years, that's when they played their best football. I did have a chance to sit down yesterday with Sharon Moore to learn where this team is at and where they plan to go to make sure this is a November to remember.
All good. Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
How's everything?
Great.
Thanks for letting me hang with you guys today.
Absolutely. And we'll do anything for the team. Has really been a bright spot for me.
When you and I sat down years ago, when you were the tight end coach,
Yeah.
did you envision yourself here?
Absolutely not. I thought only about trying to be the best tight end coach possible. So to be in this position is unbelievable. It's an unbelievable dream.
Challenges are what make life interesting, but overcoming them is what makes life meaningful.
Coach, how would you describe the state of the Michigan football team right now?
Together. Together, united, driven, just ready to attack anything in front of them because we know exactly how you have to win games. So I think that's the #1 piece in how we feel like we are as a program right now.
Underwood, wide open, touchdown.
Your quarterback, of course, Bryce, is young, and he's learning and evolving every single week.
Where is he at now?
He's in a great mental place. He just wants to keep helping the team win. He wants to get better and better and better, and he's doing that.
More of the offense is going to fall on the shoulders of number 19.
There's so many pressures in this world today, and for him, I think the support system that he has, and obviously the coaches he has around him, and the players are like a great vessel for him to be successful.
There is a resilience and a heart on this team that is unmatched.
Right now you're in a great place, right? 7-2, everything's still in front of you. What has been the message this week to keep that rolling?
Yeah, the urgency is at an all-time high because of that. Just because you prepare, it just gives you a chance to win. It's not going to guarantee a win. So everything we've done in these past weeks is to set up, this game and the games ahead.
What scares you about a Northwestern team that has had some ups and downs, but they have had some big wins this season?
Yeah, I don't think they're a 5-4 football team. By record they are, but when you look at what they do on the field, they're not. They make you execute, so we've got to do a good job on our end doing those things to be successful.
It's always great to sit and catch up with Sharon Moore. He also told me he's actually proud of his Little League baseball days, that the magnitude of playing here at Wrigley isn't lost on him, but he's been very clear with his team. We have one job to do today, play with urgency and get back to work. Rob?
All right, Jenny, thank you. Once again, the Fox Sports app is offering you a shot at free money by playing Super 6, sponsored by DraftKings. One of the questions in today's contest is, what will be the outcome of this Big Ten battle right here at Wrigley Field? You still have time to get your picks in on the app. You see the sun has now come out here in Chicago. More coaching news today on the heels of a 9-0 start. Texas A&M now finalizing a new 6-year deal with their head coach, Mike Elko. That will make him one of the 10 highest paid coaches in the sport, believed to be upwards of $11 million a year. Deal expected to be announced by the school later this afternoon. Well, today offers an SEC slate with major playoff implications. Coming up next, we're going to break down what looks like the most critical of them all, Texas, between the hedges at Georgia. The #1 recruit in this year's class, Bryce Underwood, had an electric start to his college career, and then some learning bumps. More on him when we return to Wrigley. Think you got the toss? Well, you could win a trip for two to a 2026 Fox College football game, a meet and greet with us, and a behind-the-scenes Big Noon Kickoff tour. The Tendy Toss game, it hits the Wendy's app November 21st. That is Northwestern's new Ryan Field, set to open in time next September for their 2026 football campaign. In the meantime, the Cats, they have 2 more home games left this season. Both of them are going to be played right here at Wrigley. Minnesota next Saturday, and Michigan coming up in about 20 minutes.
When you play for Michigan, you carry more than just a jersey. You carry tradition, history, pride. You carry the Block M and everything it stands for.
There is a resilience and a heart on this team that is unmatched.
When I played for Team 144, we achieved ultimate glory.
The Wolverines have won a national championship.
Go Blue.
From a Wolverine tailback legend to a defensive edge who is really on a roll of late, there's Derek Moore, multiple sacks in 3 straight games. Can he continue that today here at Wrigley Field? MVP Saturday slate sponsored by Discover. It pays to Discover. Of course, we've got our big noon matchup here at Wrigley. #9 Notre Dame with a big one in the Steel City, taking on 22nd ranked Pitt. 2 significant ranked matchups in the SEC, including Texas and Georgia, playing for the 3rd time in less than a year.
The Longhorns and the Bulldogs. Straight down the hash towards the goal line. Touchdown ETN. It's all dogs so far. Over the middle. Caught by Blue. Touchdown Texas. He plows in. Touchdown Georgia. The Dogs come to Austin and knock off #1. It is time to tee it up in the SEC Championship. ETN barrels into the end zone. Dogs take the lead. DeAndre Moore wins the foot race. Texas strikes back. touchdown, touchdown. Dogs are SEC champions.
I remember Texas with that 3-2 start out of the college football playoffs. Now they are in number 10. The Texas team's really kind of gotten them here into the playoff bracket. But, Matt, you've seen some real hope, some optimism from their offense.
Yeah,
lately.
we had Coach Sark on earlier in the show, and he talked about just the continuity that's starting to form between the playmakers and Arch Manning. And one guy's Ryan Wingo. We saw them earlier in the season. They just couldn't get him going. He was supposed to be a breakout player. He's starting to emerge, guys. Almost 300 yards receiving in his last 2 weeks. And it's just these screen passes. Honestly, they ran the same first play of the game against Mississippi State and Vanderbilt last week. But it's the yak. It's the yards after catch that create those big plays. Obviously injects a lot of life coach and spark on that sideline. This was missing in the first half of the season. He's starting to come around. I think this has taken a lot of pressure off Arch Manning.
I agree with you, Matt. And there's two stats that really stick out. Number one, most yards after catch in the SEC by the offensive skill, but also the most passes under 10 yards in the SEC. I want you to watch this. What happens is the short passes, you're going to see the second-level defenders drive the short pass that does what? Opens up the pass behind them. Here you can see the Will linebacker jump the short pass that's wide open, and then the three-level pass here to the field. The flat defender does what? He jumps the flat route. Why? That's where they've been throwing the ball. It opens up the second-level passes. This is a much different-looking quarterback arch and receiver group that we witnessed in Columbus, Ohio.
You got a burnt orange tie on today too. You're feeling Oh no, you didn't.
What?
Are they going to pull off the upset? Are they going to pull off the upset?
Yeah, they are.
Position Preview is sponsored by GMC. We are professional grade. Last November in Norman, unranked Oklahoma earned their first SEC win. It was an upset over number 7 Alabama, and they did it by outrushing the Tide, 257-70. Mark Ingram, they needed you on that day. Jalen Milroe threw 3 picks, including one that led to Oklahoma's final score. The Sooners' 24-3 win. It effectively ended Alabama's playoff hopes. I know that was a tough one for you to watch. The Tide running game, it was an issue in that game, and it's still an issue right now here in November.
Listen, man, being a part of the Crimson Tide is all about pride. Pride for the Tide. And this is a revenge game. You let them derail your season last year, you can't let them do it again. The number one concern for me in this matchup is the Oklahoma defense, specifically the pass rush. They might be without their best pass rusher in R. Mason Thomas today, so that's something to watch out for. But Alabama has been one-dimensional. Now it's a really great dimension, right? But what's the number one way to mitigate a pass rush? Just to run the football. So in this game, Alabama needs to have a great protection plan. They need to find creative ways to generate some rush offense in the screen game to have positive plays on first and second down. So Ty Simpson isn't a second and long, third and long throughout the day.
It feels like a slugfest between these two teams, right, in the way they're matched up. Alabama's passing attack and Oklahoma being the number one defense in the SEC. I'm going to talk about the Oklahoma offense, though. So John Mateer's comeback. Remember, guys, the first 4 games of the season, he was looking like to be the Heisman favorite. Had the thumb injury. Since coming back, like 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. They're 2-2 over that span, and the ball's just not coming out of his hand quite the same. And this offense, where he was throwing for over 270 yards every game, he's only throwing for over 200 yards a couple of times in the last 4 games. So the offense hasn't looked quite the same. He's a heck of a player. Yep. Hopefully he can get back on track. But I think it's a challenge today if they're going to try to play to keep pace with Ty Simpson, this passing attack for Bama.
The Alabama defense has been a pleasant surprise and improvement since earlier in the season.
Yeah. Coach, an Oklahoma lost today, and
Wrigley Field.
They're out, baby. Time for this week's Dave Portnoy rant. He's going to be screaming to the masses from the roofs above Wrigley. Where is he? Oh, is that where you are, Dave?
Yeah.
What a great location.
You guys look like ants, but it's a great location. All right, here's the rant. Listen, everyone knows I'm a Michigan man, and that means something. What being a Michigan man means: honor, integrity, courage, doing the right thing when nobody's looking. That's what being a Michigan man is all about. We take it very seriously. So it was with great pain over the last couple of years that all the jealous people in the world, hey, Michigan's getting the hammer, they cheated, they this, just because they're jealous. Well, as a man of honor and integrity, I can't let this slide. You know who actually got the hammer? Michigan State. That's right. Little brother right down the road, unbeknownst to us, has been cheating this entire time. Mel Tucker, Tuck is coming. No, they had to forfeit 14 wins. Their new coach, Jonathan Smith, has 0 wins on his resume. When people look at the Big Ten and ask, with Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan State, what's the only school that's never had to vacate a win? The answer is Michigan. That is what being a Michigan man is all about. So shame on everybody who's always trying to tear down the only school left in this conference with integrity. That is my rant. Shame on you, Michigan State. Shame on you, little brother.
All right, Dave. Shocking a Michigan rant. Michigan.
The best part is he's talking about integrity. The fans are yelling at Urban, yelling at me. We're starting to
This is a road game for Michigan on paper only. This is maize and blue all over Wrigley Field. Now, it is the 78th meeting between Michigan and Northwestern, and Dave's Wolverines still very much in the Big Ten and playoff hunt, but a win today at Wrigley is mandatory.
We here in the greatest city in the world, sweet home Chicago. I spent the past 6 years making my new album, Starline. And along the way, I've seen new places, met new faces, Ghana, Jamaica, art fairs and studios from coast to coast. But no matter where the journey took me, nothing inspired me more than the city of Chicago. This is the great city that raised me. It shaped my sound, it shaped my spirit, my whole worldview. And today, I'm honored to share this city with all of you. On this special day, as one of our greatest treasures, the cathedral on the north side takes center stage. There's no stadium, no place like Wrigley Field.
Nothing better than football at a baseball stadium.
Mighty Michigan comes to town to face hometown Northwestern. The powerful Wolverines still have playoff hopes alive behind the freshman phenom quarterback.
Say hello to the East Side Undertaker.
But the Wildcats are always feisty here in the Windy City.
First away at the 5, he's in, touchdown!
It's Michigan and Northwestern, live from Wrigley Field on Big Noon Kickoff. Let's go!
And our thanks to Chicago native Chance the Rapper. Delivery to Kickoff sponsored by Wendy's. Get your Wendy's faves delivered for game day. There's the marquee in front of Wrigley, and it tells you what's on the docket today. The Northsiders from Northwestern set to host number 18 Michigan. It was snowing in Chicago on Monday. Today it feels like a late April getaway day game for the Cubbies. Unseasonably warm here. They're expecting temperatures to be in the mid-60s around kickoff. You know what? Maybe we should just play 2 today.
Yeah.
Just do a doubleheader, man. That's good. That's good. Let's do a doubleheader. All right, in case you missed it earlier in the show, Big Cat took a little bit of a dip in the cold tub. You can feel the pain all the way here in center field.
Yeah, he's cutting glass over there.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I'll leave it right there. All right, he's dried up. He's warmed up, and he's live on the rooftop now with Dave and Bear. Big Cat, how we feeling, buddy?
Listen, I'll do anything for the team. I do think that Eric Shanks needs to pay me more. I also have seen some people doing some illegal things. I said no screenshots. There's a lot of screenshots going around right now.
It was dirty business all the way around. It reminded we were talking when we were at Florida State doing Dumb and Dumber. Fox is just what can we get them to do and make a mockery of these idiots.
So I feel like a Navy SEAL now that I went and did that. I'm ready to win all my bets today. What do you got, Beer?
Well, we are ready to win all your bets. Well, let's start right here. What do we got here in Michigan Northwestern here?
I like Northwestern. I like the over, though, more than anything. I think Northwestern's going to hang around in this game. I think also Michigan's in a spot right now where they got to get Bryce Underwood going ready for the Ohio State game. So they're going to get 4 quarters, 41.5. That's my best bet.
Dave, should I even ask?
Well, yeah, no, of course I love Michigan. We're on a roll now. If the cameras are off, and I'm speaking just to Michigan folk, so if you're not a Michigan fan, cover your ears, turn the channel. This game makes me very nervous. I think Northwestern's pretty good. I think this comes down to the end, so I'm very scared about this game, but that's only for Michigan eyes only. On the record, I love Michigan by 40.
Okay. Seems like
People are doing illegal stuff. They're going to start spreading
Michigan
this
by
out there.
40.
Michigan by 40.
I do think Michigan will win by double digits. I think I'm with Big Cat here. I think it might be a little higher scoring game than people think. I initially thought maybe under, but if we get a trick play or two, Northwestern team total over 15.5. It's only asking them really to score 2 touchdowns here. I'm going to go over 15.5. I hate playing. I'm not a member of the over club, Big Cat. but I am today, Rob.
We got to get you involved in that.
Yeah, we got to get you involved. What do you
Very
mean you're not a
exclusive
member
club.
of the Overs Club?
I need an
I'm
invite.
gonna throw you off this room.
I need an invite. Give me an invite.
You got to win a bet, get a jacket.
Yeah.
All right,
Rob-
boys, thank you. Michigan's offense has been inconsistent this year with two freshmen, Bryce Underwood under center. Statistically, it's one of the weakest in the top 25. The Wolverines have taken a noticeable step back the past 2 seasons after Jim Harbaugh's 3-year run that peaked with that national title. But last year, Sharon Moore and Michigan did win the one that mattered, upsetting Ohio State as 20.5-point underdog. So it has been 2,177 days since Ohio State last beat Michigan. The Wolverines have the Cats next, then at Maryland before hosting the top-ranked Buckeyes here on Fox Thanksgiving weekend. What does Michigan need to prove these next 2 games to put them in a spot to make it 5 straight over the Buckeyes?
I mean, absolutely nothing. Look, they were the biggest underdog in this series that we saw last year, and they were able to beat them in Columbus. But I do think they've got to find a way of getting Bryce Underwood going in the passing game and more consistent. Yes, he's a true freshman, tremendously talented, but between finding ways of getting more shots downfield, easier completions early, and running him a bit too, I think would help getting this offense going.
Yeah, Brady, I don't see it happening, but I didn't see it happening last year. The greatest equalizer on offense is the quarterback run. He's struggling. Bryce Underwood is struggling throwing the ball. He's still a freak athlete, Mark. Shorten the game, and Bryce Underwood get first downs and find yourself in the fourth quarter in a close ball game. If not, it might get ugly.
I agree with Brady. They don't have to do anything. Try and stay healthy and just win these games. Don't overlook a team like Northwestern. Set yourself up for that big game in a couple weeks. 20-point dogs, 128th passing offense going into that game last year, and they won. So it really doesn't matter in that game.
To me, it hasn't been a secret how Michigan has beat Ohio State over the last 4 years. They outrushed them by 486 yards in the last few games. So physically dominating the line of scrimmage in the run game and defensively. 7 sacks over the last 2 games. Yeah. Get this linebacker corps, which is one of their better units on the defense. Get them healthy. Physically dominate line of scrimmage. That'll give them the best opportunity to beat Ohio State in a couple weeks.
Michigan 7-2 overall, 5-1 in Big Ten play. They have all their goals in front of them. That's getting to the Big Ten championship game. That's earning a playoff invite. And here come the Wolverines. Michigan is listed as the away team. It's not going to feel like it inside Wrigley. Wolverines, Northwestern for the call. Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt.